Airlines are rolling out major changes from tech upgrades to stricter baggage policies to new dress codes that are transforming the way that we fly. In today's video, I'm breaking down 10 major changes so you know which services are getting better, which now cost extra, and exactly how to prepare for your next flight. The first thing that travelers need to know is that there are actually some pretty exciting tech upgrades happening on planes. Free messaging is becoming the norm on most major airlines. Even if you don't pay for Wi-Fi during the flight, many airlines in North America, like United and Delta, now let all passengers send messages through apps like WhatsApp, iMessage, and Facebook Messenger for free. Just make sure you've downloaded the messaging app before your flight because trying to download an app at 35,000 feet? Well, good luck with that. Keep in mind that sending photos, videos, or SMS messages is usually not supported. Some airlines, like JetBlue, offer free high-speed Wi-Fi for all internet activities for all passengers, regardless of if you're seated in economy or first class, and more airlines are feeling the pressure to catch up. United Airlines passengers all receive free messaging, but they will charge for full internet access unless you are a T-Mobile customer, in which case you get free internet as well. Speaking of Wi-Fi, not only is it becoming more accessible to all passengers, it's getting way better too. Some airlines like Alaska, United, and Air Canada have partnered with Starlink to start providing some actually usable internet on board the plane. Finally. And here's my favorite upgrade. Newer plane models are now supporting wireless headphone connections. That means that you can use your AirPods or other Bluetooth headphones to watch movies from the seatback entertainment system without having to pack your own set of wired headphones or dealing with those awful airplane headphones that are handed out by the flight attendants, which, by the way, are no longer free on many flights. We will be getting into these added costs on board soon, but for now, let's continue with the good stuff. The entertainment systems have gotten a major upgrade as well. Instead of just movies and TV shows, you'll now find everything from meditation apps to interactive games. They've even added this genius feature where you can indicate on your screen whether you want to be woken up for meals or be left alone to sleep. No more awkward, sorry to wake you moments from the flight attendants. Let us know down in the comments which of these upgrades you are most excited about. I'm probably most excited about the feature to connect your wireless headphones via Bluetooth to the seatback entertainment systems. It was so easy to use on a recent United flight from Bangkok to New York City, and I couldn't believe how well it worked. With so much that we can do on our phones and devices on the plane, and the fact that we rely on them for everything from accessing our boarding pass to using a rideshare app on arrival, you will want to prepare to make sure that you can keep your devices fully charged through your flight, which is unfortunately not so easy if you don't go in with the right information. The second thing that travelers need to know before flying this year is that while planes are getting these tech upgrades on board, the power outlet options are still stuck in the past. Most planes only have 2 power outlets for a row of 3 seats, which means someone's going to be out of luck on a full flight. Even if you have access to one of these outlets, there's no guarantee that it's going to be working. And while most planes in North America have a USB charging slot at every seat, you may not be able to use it. Many planes only accept USB-A connections, so if you are traveling with a new smartphone or Apple device or other brands with USB-C charging cords, you're going to want to pack an adapter. I learned this the hard way after unintentionally raw dogging the last 3 hours of a flight from Canada to India last year. Now I'll always travel with a cheap USB-A to USB-C adapter that I picked up on Amazon. It saved me countless times from not being able to charge my phone on a flight. Checking the plane model on your ticket and giving it a quick Google search, or visit the airline's website or download their app and look for sections like in-flight amenities or flight status to see what's available on your flight. The third thing to know about flying this year is that your plane is probably going to be completely full. This means you are not just fighting for power outlets, but you're fighting for everything from overhead bin space to bathroom access. Airlines are operating fewer routes with fewer planes compared to previous years, but passenger demand is at an all-time high, so you can expect that most flights are going to be full flights. If your ticket still includes a carry-on, More on that at point number 5. You will ideally be able to store your suitcase above your seat in the overhead bin, but this is often not possible due to limited space on board, and it is good to know that while your seat number might be assigned, the bin space above your seat is not assigned. If you notice the bins around your seating area are closed while you are boarding the plane, you can assume that those overhead bins are full, and you will want to scope out bin space ahead of your seat as opposed to bin space behind your seat. If you end up putting your carry-on suitcase in an overhead bin that's behind your seat, you'll be stuck waiting for all the people behind you to deplane before you can go back there and grab it. And with airlines being extra strict about not letting passengers back onto the plane once they've deplaned, you definitely don't want to forget anything at your seat or in that overhead bin. Full flights also mean that you are fighting with dozens, if not hundreds, of other passengers for bathroom access. The three busiest times for using the bathroom on a plane typically occur after takeoff, once the seatbelt sign has been turned off, after meal service, and then before landing, since the cabin lights are usually turned back on as the flight begins its descent, which typically wakes everyone up. On a long-haul flight, this will typically happen about 1.5 hours before landing, and this is when the cabin lights turn on, people wake up, and suddenly, everyone is going to want to use the bathroom all at once. Set an alarm to go off on your phone or your watch for about 2 hours before the plane is expected to land. By doing this, you can beat the bathroom rush so you can actually use the bathroom, and you will also have a cleaner bathroom experience because you're going before everyone else will be going, which I probably didn't need to explain. Comfort on board is also impacted when you are shoulder to shoulder with other passengers for hours, so I personally swear by a set of noise-canceling headphones, an eye mask, and a sweater with a hood so I can throw it on and really zone out the other passengers around me. Speaking of comfort on a full flight, the next thing that travelers need to know is that the comfort on board the plane might actually be getting worse. Some major airlines like Frontier have already switched to fixed back seats that don't recline at all in economy, or seats that have a limited recline feature. Delta, American, and United are rolling out new seat designs that limit recline capabilities, such as a reduction from 4 inches in the past to now just 2 inches of recline. The average seat pitch, which is the space between your seat and the one in front of you, has dropped from roughly 34 inches to about 30 inches on many airlines. Some budget airlines have squeezed it down to even just 28 inches on certain plane models. The seats themselves are also getting slimmer. Airlines like Delta are installing thinner seats with less padding to fit more rows on each plane and reduce the overall weight. They call them slimline seats, which is kind of a fun name, but let's be honest, they're just less comfortable. Google Flights gives you a quick and easy way to see the average legroom you can expect on your flight, as well as give you an overview of other onboard amenities. With less comfortable seating and full flights, and a new dress code rule, which we'll cover at the end, where you sit on the plane is probably more important than it ever was before, which is why travelers need to be prepared for the seat selection changes that airlines are rolling out. Previously, many airlines let you choose your seat for free during the online check-in period, which was usually 24 hours before your flight. One of my favorite travel hacks was setting an alarm for exactly 24 hours before the flight's departure, which is when the online check-in window opened, so I could snag the best available seat for free within my fare class. But that's changing, unfortunately. Airlines like Air Canada and United now automatically assign seats in basic economy, and if you want to change your seat, even during that online check-in window, you'll need to pay. There's even a theory that airlines are deliberately assigning early check-in passengers the worst seats, like middle seats in the back row, to push them into paying for seat selection. This has led to something called check-in chicken, which is where passengers wait until the last minute to check in for their flight, hoping to score a better leftover seat, like one that's in an aisle or a window as opposed to a middle of a row. And while it's definitely not guaranteed to work, it might be worth a shot if you are determined to avoid seat selection fees. If your main concern is sitting with your family, good news is that if you're traveling with kids 13 years or under, U.S. airlines are now required by law to seat families together without any additional seat charges. You might not get the most ideal location on the plane, but at least you won't have to pay extra to sit with your kid. If you do decide to pay for seat selection, which is probably going to be worth it on a long flight, here are some ways that you can make the best choice to get the most value for your money. For the least turbulence, choose seats over the wing near the middle of the cabin. For better sleep, pick a window seat on the side that you would normally sleep on. For more legroom, always look for exit row seats. For warmer temperatures, sit further away from the emergency exits or any doors on the plane in general. To avoid noise, stay away from the bathrooms and the galley areas where flight attendants tend to hang out near the back of the plane. For a better chance at an empty seat next to you, book towards the back of the plane as these seats tend to fill up last. They also tend to have the most engine noise and the most turbulence. And if you do have a tight connection, try to sit near the front of the plane as the plane is going to deplane from front to back, so those passengers that are seated near the front of the cabin are going to be the ones that get off the plane first. I personally love an aisle seat near the back third of the plane cabin on the left side so I can get up anytime. The reason I'll choose to sit on the left side of the plane is because I am dominant with my right hand. So this means if I'm on an aisle seat on the left-hand side, if I'm doing things like working on a laptop or eating, I can extend my arm into the aisle as opposed to having to extend it into another passenger. It's one of those little things that makes everyone just a little bit more happy during the flight. The next thing that travelers need to know before their next flight is that many things that used to be free, from food to headphones, are now going to cost you extra. Many airlines that used to include meals have switched to a buy on board model, even on long-haul flights. If meals are not included in your ticket, consider pre-ordering your meal when booking your ticket. It's usually cheaper than buying on board, and you are guaranteed to actually get what you want. Another example from Air Canada is that the free headphones they used to hand out are now going to cost you at least a few dollars, and some airlines are also charging for blankets and pillows, especially if they happen to be a budget carrier. Speaking of payments, something that is catching a lot of travelers off guard is the fact that many airlines have completely changed the way that you pay for things on board a flight. Gone are the days of pulling out cash or your credit card or even using the tap feature from your phone. The new system being adopted by many airlines is app-only payments, which means that if you want to buy anything during your flight, whether that's food, drinks, or headsets, you need to have downloaded the airline's app and uploaded your payment method before takeoff. That means no general Apple Pay or Samsung Wallet tap from your phone, no physical credit cards, and definitely no cash. I've seen so many passengers get stuck without access to food or drinks because they assume that they could just tap their phone or swipe their credit card like they have in the past. And because you took the time to watch this video, you will not be that person. Instead, you will download the app and upload your payment method before the flight. The next thing that travelers need to know is something that airlines probably don't want to talk about, which is that theft on planes is becoming a major issue, especially on overnight or early morning flights when the lights are dimmed and everyone is just a little bit groggy. There are organized crime rings targeting specific high-value routes, and with full flights, it's easier than ever for thieves to operate without being noticed. When everyone is asleep on a dark plane, or they're distracted during the busy boarding and deplaning process, belongings are particularly vulnerable. Instead of storing your personal item fully under the seat in front of you, try pulling it out and placing it behind your legs instead. This adds a layer of protection since anyone trying to get into your bag would literally have to move your legs first. It's also way more comfortable since you can now stretch your legs out under the seat in front of you. Just remember that your personal item bag does need to be stowed under the seat in front of you for takeoff and landing. If any of your bags have zippers, especially if it happens to be stored in the overhead bin where you have little access to it and little visibility, consider adding small carabiner clips to the zippers. This makes it much more difficult for someone to quickly unzip your bag and slip their hand in while walking past. One more tip that you might not think about is that if you are planning to sleep, don't leave valuable items like phones or tablets or even your passport in the seat back pocket. That's basically putting them on display for anyone that's walking by. Either keep them zipped up in your personal item bag or secure them in a zippered pocket that stays close to your body. The next thing travelers need to know before a flight this year is that carry-on and personal item rules have gotten significantly stricter, and it is catching a lot of travelers off guard and also costing them a lot of money at the airport. If you are booking a basic economy ticket on airlines like United, Air Canada, or American Airlines, you might be surprised to learn that your ticket no longer includes a carry-on suitcase. You're limited to just one personal item that needs to fit under the seat in front of you. Even airlines that do allow a carry-on and personal item are enforcing a strict two-item limit. This means that they now count things like cameras, blankets, and even a small fanny pack as your one personal item. And when you can only bring one personal item on board to a flight, you need to make it count. Don't be carrying a blanket or a camera. Instead of struggling with a tiny bag or trying to juggle multiple small items that could count against you, consider maximizing your allowance with the Nomad Lane V4 bento bag. It's as if this bag was designed to beat the new carry-on restrictions. I've partnered with Nomad Lane on this video to share with you how I use their bento bag as my personal item bag on short trips. It's perfect because it fits everything that I need for a weekend getaway while still fitting perfectly underneath the seat in front of me. You can think of it like a personal item bag with all the benefits of a carry-on suitcase, without having to worry about gate agents trying to check it in or having to fight for overhead bin space. It also opens up like a clamshell suitcase, giving you plenty of packing space while keeping everything organized. The bento bag also works perfectly with the comfort and theft prevention tip that I mentioned earlier, since you can easily pull it out from under the seat in front of you and position it behind your legs for extra security and for extra leg room during the flight. You can check out the link down in the video description to grab the bento bag for yourself before your next flight, and then also use the code MEGAN10 to save 10% off at checkout. One more important update that travelers need to know when preparing for a flight is that airlines are implementing stricter dress codes, particularly when it comes to footwear. Major carriers like American and United now explicitly ban bare feet on flights, with policies allowing them to deny boarding or even remove passengers from a flight if they don't comply. I'll put a video on screen now, as well as link it for you in the description, where I dive into all of the details of banned bare feet, as well as other surprising things that airlines are cracking down on, from animals to alcohol. You'll definitely want to watch that one next so you don't end up unintentionally breaking some of the rules on your next flight. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join Ollie and I back here for more travel tips each week, and I will see you in that next video soon. And Ollie has made his way to the door as he is obviously very done with filming for today. Bye.